All right, hello everybody from Hannover again, and today we're here with Almada Lobo, the CEO of Critical Manufacturing. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here with you.
I appreciate the opportunity. So we're talking about AI in manufacturing. Maybe if you want to give us your insights or your vision onto what is the role of AI in the future of manufacturing software systems?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I think we need to take the AI manufacturing with a certain level of pragmatism, or put it this way, pragmatism and innovation and future orientation at the same time. So we're not going to have all of a sudden AI taking over all the functions that we have within manufacturing, but we're going to have a lot of AI helping different functions within manufacturing. And this means helping operators, helping the frontline workers, helping engineers at all different levels, helping managers and supervisors with intelligent insights, with things that they cannot do on their own based on the current tools which are available. And so they'll have all this additional help in order to provide additional insights, additional decision making. Now, the issue is that, all of the companies will have this, so it will not be a competitive advantage for anyone in the future, right?
As Peter Diamandis would say, you're either in AI by 2030 or you're going to be bankrupt. So there'll be two types of companies. So hopefully folks will take initiatives to at least look at how to become more efficient, also work with partners that had been on this journey and had learned from some of the use cases, learned from some of the mistakes, and hopefully they apply it to improve the system of others.
Exactly.
Let's talk a little about some of the things that are here today, and perhaps the low-code and no-code solution, and how is that helping to accelerate the digitalization of manufacturing?
Yeah, so that's a very interesting question. So one of the things that we see is that there's a lot of scarcity of IT resources everywhere, because digitalization is happening everywhere, in manufacturing and in all the other sectors. And so there's simply not enough IT people, software developers, for coping with all the things which are needed. So one of the things that people figured out is that why do we really need software development for all the functions? Why can we not have simpler functions for persons that understand very well the domain area and with a certain, let me say, IT perspective, but not necessarily software development, can do a lot of functions. So this is creating a new kind of role, which is called citizen developers. So the citizen developers are people that do understand software systems within the application area. In this case, manufacturing. They do understand what they need to do and how the systems connect, integrate, and what the ultimate target is, but they're not necessarily software developers. Right? And so by doing that, we can give IT power to persons that are not IT professionals. Okay, so this is the only way that we'll be able to have the massive digital transformation that we need across the different manufacturing plants worldwide. So it's a game changer.
I love that aspect, because that actually helps with a lot of the debate in the industry, in the IT-OT convergence, and sounds like doing it this way, it may help inject some of that knowledge right into the specialist, whereas the process, and let them do the process engineering work, whether it's whatever, water and wastewater, let him focus on that. Don't.
Correct. And this is also, it's a very good point, because it's also helping this conversion that everyone talks about. Because once you have these low-code solutions that the OT people can grab on, they are automatically working within the IT platforms.
Right.
So right away, we have eliminated some of the barriers that currently exist between OT and IT, just by using low-code and no-code solutions efficiently.
Got it. So on that note, what is your favorite debate on this, about this connected industry, and is there anything that you feel differently that maybe what's out there in
Yeah, so I think,
industry?
First of all, a disclaimer. I'm an MES provider, so I'm a vendor of MES systems. Okay? And for some time, when we started having more IoT type of solutions, no-code, low-code solutions, people said at some point, okay, so maybe we don't need these MES systems that are so hard to implement all the time. Why don't we just start and go and connect equipment and get some IoT going and have some point solutions, and then figure out how to build the rest from these ones that we're starting? And I believe that's a mistake, right? And that's a mistake in a number of ways, because if you really want to do a digitalization process of an entire manufacturing plant, you need, first of all, a strategy, and then you need a certain structure. And the MES is a perfect tool for that, regardless if this is ours or someone else's, right? So the MES is the kind of the basis. And then if you have a good and solid basis, then you can plug your no-code, then you can plug your IoT, then you can do all of these things. So this is one aspect. The other one is that you see lots and lots of companies promoting IoT solutions and promising predictive models of all sorts, right? And I kind of, I cannot help but looking at those and say, if you have a sensor connected to a machine, and if the sensor is sensing like temperature measurements, for instance, and if you have temperature profiles, you can do certain things from it, right? But imagine if you have this with additional contextual information that may come from the MES, right? Instead of just having temperature sensor values, you will have information about which machine did this come from, when did this machine go on maintenance the last time, what was the maintenance type, and so, almost immediately, what is the product being produced at that point in time. And this is additional contextual information that once you look into then the AI models, so the correlations, the statistics which are needed to create these models, you'll have a much richer set of data for the decision that needs to be made. Okay, so MES is a kind of an anchor point, I believe, and this is one of the areas that I would advise manufacturers to start looking into, and then plug all the rest instead of doing the other way around.
I appreciate the insights and also the reference to the MES, because there are folks out there that think that with industrial IoT platform, there's the death of MES. And we as a facilitator conversation, we like to get a healthy debate on both sides. And certainly, sounds like you feel like from the MES perspective, you feel that is the anchor. And maybe someone in the audience looking at this, how do we help them decide? I think I was at a market research forum that I was with a large end user that was questioned. We waited for a long time on an MES. How do you get them to, why did you wait it? And now that there is IoT, they're still questioning that.
Yeah, that's a very good point. One thing we'd agree, regardless where to start, which is solutions like IoT. In particular, IoT is a kind of a term that sometimes is misused. Sure. So what is meant with this is IoT data platforms, right? So it's the connectivity on one side, which also needs to exist within the MES, by the way, but then the data platform side of things, so where you create the data lakes or create entire structures. So one thing is clear is that these two systems are complementary, okay? Because the MES deals with processes. It's manufacturing process, physical and business processes. Okay? And then it's about getting the right visibility. To a certain extent, some of the IoT things can also provide such visibility and traceability, but then it's the control side of the processes. The IoT by themselves cannot control processes. Right? And so the systems are very, very complementary. Right? So the only debate, if they are complementary and if they are needed, the only debate is where to start. And I'm really open to other alternatives. But what I'm saying to our customers and prospects is that regardless if you do it with us or with anyone else, I think you need to have your house in order before you can plug all the gadgets on top.
Right. The IoT or MES or AI is not going to fix it for you if you don't have a roadmap of where you want to go and what you're trying to accomplish.
It's a strategy that sometimes is missing. But I think people are generally more aware of this today. And against all the odds, if you look into what's happening here at Hannover Messe, you see I don't know how many MES players, vendors, so they're everywhere. So I think the death of MES was greatly exaggerated.
That's a good segue into my final question, and that is what did you see that stood out in your mind during this past couple of days at Hannover Messe in 2023?
Yeah, I see a lot of excitement, and I see a lot of these things converging. Right? Mm-hmm. We're talking about the IT/OT convergence. It's everywhere. You have IT companies, OT companies. You have MES providers. You have large infrastructure houses like AWS, Microsoft, and everyone trying to sell their solutions and trying to understand how things fit together. So there's a lot of excitement here because I think all of these things add, right? It's not, they don't subtract. They add to the final solutions and to a number of options. So one of the things which is interesting is that someone who was not really aware of what's going on and so on, and all of a sudden lands here. It's got to be very, very complicated. And this opens up, of course, the door to other providers, consultants, people that can guide prospects throughout the different options. But it's a very exciting time to be in this industry, that's for sure.
Appreciate the insights. And if you're in the audience, have questions for Mr. Lobo, feel free to post them there. We'll get them to the appropriate person on his team. And I look forward to catching up with you. Hopefully have you on one of our IoT World Manufacturing Days and have a
that would be awesome.
Debate from all sides of the industry. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It was really a pleasure.